we'll take a short break here.
It's not happening right now.
Okay, it's good to meet y'all. How did you decide that the problem was demonic possession as opposed to a brain tumor, for example? And I'm making that as an obvious thing you could rule out with a brain scan, but how did you decide that it was this instead of that?
We started with the physical, obviously, getting test scans, that sort of thing, just to rule that out. Then my parents went with the psychological as the next step, and nothing really came of that. Nothing really fit as far as diagnosis.
Honestly, I sat at my desk at work and I just said, God, you know what this is. You
Okay,
need to help us.
and what were the symptoms you were seeing at the time? She was, at 5, she was seeing what you believed to be dead people, but people that weren't there. They were people nobody else was seeing. She was seeing those people, and you know that because she was reporting it to you.
Correct. Plus she had two demons that bothered her. So
Anytime we would say anything spiritual, she would come in contact with anything Christian, she would drop to the floor and have an episode instantly.
And holy water.
yeah, holy water had a great impact. If we would put it on her, her skin would turn red, she would scream.
That would be like she was on fire.
Yeah,
Again, she would tell you that after the fact.
correct.
She would scream, she would cry, and then she would report being stabbed, hit, held down, all sorts of things. And then you've been to different professionals, and you haven't found a professional that saw it the way you saw it.
No.
Because you said that you went to professionals and went through the psychological route and didn't find anything. Well, that's not really true. You didn't find anybody that agreed with you, but they did render diagnoses: parasomnia, conversion disorder with sensory symptoms, headaches. Different sorts of diagnoses on axes 1 through 5 have been rendered by different professionals. They just didn't agree with you. Anxiety, generalized disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, things like that. You just didn't find one that used the symbol system that you were using. True?
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
My parents did the best they could with what they had at the time for trying to help my sister. As far as the diagnoses that are there, yes, in their professional opinion, sure. It's just not what we felt was what was happening. And the goal of this, for you helping her, is not to decide whether or not what happened. It's to deal with what she's dealing with now, if that makes sense. And I don't mean to sound rude or anything like that, because I do. I greatly appreciate you talking to us and letting us tell her story, because it's so important.
You can't tell me how to parse this out in my own mind.
I understand.
And you're
I'm
being
so
careful
sorry.
to not step on my toes here. You're saying, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't want you focusing on what's happened up until now. I want you focusing on where we go from here, which is not rude at all. It's not going to happen, but it's...
I understand. I understand. I definitely understand
It's
that.
not rude at all, but you do have to look at how you got where you are to know how to leave where you are. You've got to know how you got there. And I don't know I haven't met her yet.
I know.
So I don't, and I'm the least judgmental person I've ever met. So I keep an open mind about these things. And let me tell you the one thing that I absolutely drop dead know that we can agree about, 100%. This young woman, from the time she was a little girl through now, is not making this up. This is not malingering for attention. She's not exaggerating. She's not play acting. She's not being histrionic and over dramatic. She's not some drama queen. The question is, what is it? And that does determine where we go from here. Next, Abby says she's had 3 exorcisms and is no longer possessed by what she calls demons. She says that during her PTSD episodes, she continues to relive the demonic possessions, including being stabbed, punched, choked, and that's why it matters. We'll meet Abby after the break.
There are certain things that trigger Abby's episodes, the shower and loneliness. Now, she can get through her shower, but once she gets out, she has an episode. Abby is gone at least a week and a half without showering.
There's other triggers, something to do with destination. We were going to the airport. The GPS says you have reached your destination. Boom, she was gone.
Okay, so full disclosure, I don't personally really believe in this too much. Like, I don't think it's demonic possession. I feel like there must be some medical explanation for this. I definitely agree with Dr. Phil that it sounds like it sounds like she's being honest and, you know, not looking for attention, but I feel like there must be some medical explanation for this, right? And to freak out when she's told they've reached their destination, maybe she didn't want to go there? I don't know. And is Charlie possibly an example of schizophrenia or something?
After 10 years of suffering, Abby says she is no longer possessed by what she calls demons. Instead, she said she now has up to 20 PTSD episodes every single day. I also don't question that. Abby says she can't drive, work, or even shower without triggering these traumatic episodes. Now, if she is prone to having these like 20 times a day, and there are triggers for them, and these triggers are associated with stress, this is going to be a stressful situation. If she has an episode here, you guys are prepared to deal with that, right?
Yes.
Do we need to bring medical staff in and have them on standby? We have nurses on the lot here. We could do whatever, because I'll do whatever's necessary, but you tell us that you're okay to handle that.
We can definitely handle
Okay,
that.
let's take a look at what Abby has to say.
The PTSD episodes have taken over my life. I used to hear voices and I used to see people that weren't there when I was possessed. During my current episodes, I am reliving demonic possessions I had in the past. When I have my episodes, I don't even know what's happening around me. I'm in a completely different place. When I have my episodes, I feel like I'm being punched and stabbed. In some of my episodes, I have been choked. If I am stressed out or fighting with my husband, I generally have an Emily episode. What happens in those episodes is that Emily screams in my face. On the really bad Emily episodes, it's like my lungs are filling up with blood after I've been stabbed so many times. The Charlie episodes are triggered by showers. The worst PTSD episode that I've had so far was a Charlie episode I had last month. I was being and after he was finished, he then cut my tongue out and told me a person like me doesn't need to speak. Charlie is a demon that I used to see when I was possessed. Charlie would rape me several times a day. When I've gone out in public, I have had episodes, and it is quite embarrassing. One time I was at a bar with my sister Cassandra, and when I woke up, all the patrons were around me, trying to give me water and very concerned. I feel totally stuck. These episodes are destroying my life.
Well, it's good to meet you. And you heard me say, I don't think you're making any of this up at all. I think this is very real, 100%.
Okay.
So I want you to know that I believe that, and I'm not challenging that at all.
Okay.
Now, you say right now that you're having 3 types of PTSD episodes.
Yes.
The Emily episodes are flashbacks of possessions. And this was at 16 years old. This was a scraggly teenage girl, cuts all over her body, that would stab, cut, hit, and scream at you and demean you.
Yes.
And at this point, you made a deal with the devil, essentially.
Yes.
Things.
Yep.
And what was that?
I would cut myself to make it so that she wouldn't cut me. I could control that pain, whereas when she did it, it was much, much worse.
All right. And then Charlie episodes, you're having flashbacks of Charlie, and this is a middle-aged man, glasses, disgusting looking, who you repeatedly, brutally, not just, but also abuses you, and then cuts out your tongue because you have nothing to say. That he wants to hear anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Dark Place episodes, which are flashbacks to the Dark Place possession, 16, 20, 25 years old, hot, dark, smelly pit. You get hit, punched, choked, and again demeaned. What you're experiencing here, and here other people experience similar things that are not demon possessed. There are people that cut themselves that aren't demon possessed. There are people that see others and have very confrontive relationships with these others that no one else sees but them, that are not demon possessed. There's nothing unique to your demon possession that differentiates it from other forms of other experiences that people with mental illness have.
My reaction to holy water,
And prayer.
my reaction to prayer. If someone puts holy water on me in those episodes when I am possessed, my skin is on fire. It burns so bad. I will never forget that feeling. I guess that's the thing that sets it apart, and the fact that the exorcisms worked.
Now, when Abby was 5, she says she made an agreement with a spirit demon named Shelley, who she believed opened the door for her subsequent possessions. We'll talk about that after the break.
My first exorcism was with a Catholic priest. The way that you expel demons is through coughing and spitting out what you've coughed up.
Before she got married, she wanted to have an exorcism because she wanted to start the relationship with no demons. She started having the episodes again. It always seemed to happen right before a big event of hers.
Abby says her first possession happened at just 16 years old. Take a look.
The first spirit that I recall really having any significance was Shelley, and she opened the door for all these other spirits to come in. I thought that everyone could see these people, so I just assumed that we just ignored them, and so that's what I did. Up until about 13 or 14, I started to realize that it was not normal that other people didn't see these things. I would see dead boys, girls, men, women. When I had my first Emily episode, Emily was really scraggly, skinny, dark hair, really dark eyes. In a way, she kind of looked like me. Emily stayed with me for 6 months, and after she was gone, I still saw the people. Emily left and then Charlie appeared. Charlie was disgusting looking. He would attack me every day. My mom contacted a spiritual warrior who helped people with demons.
Spirit of our God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
We had prayed, which caused me to go into episodes. The prayers had worked to get rid of all of it, and so I was free for the first time in my whole life. After the prayers, and Charlie and Emily were gone, and all the voices were gone, I was good for a couple of months, and then my episodes were of a dark place.
Okay. It matters whether you're using the right symbol system or not. It matters a lot as to where we go from here. And I've written some things down. Will you sit in my chair for a minute? Because I want you to be able to see over here. The problem with calling it what it isn't is you then do not treat what it is. So if you call something a demon, when in fact it is a hallucination, then you would deal with the possession rather than the hallucination. If you call something possession, instead of paralysis from anxiety, then you're going to treat this and not give the tools to deal with this. If you label something that a demon is saying, instead of a toxic internal dialogue, then you're going to focus on making a deal with the demon instead of changing the toxic internal dialogue. If you focus on this, this, and this, and not this, this, or this, then you're never going to resolve this, because it is never going to get any better. And if the demons have left you, then you don't need that symbol system anyway.
I mean, it's gone, and now it's something else.
And so what you're left with is anxiety paralysis, hyperventilation, all of the things that go along with that. So even if you believe this side, you're saying that's gone and this is still here. So this has to be treated even if you believe that this is where it came from.
Yes.
Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Think about that. We'll be right back.
I'm definitely agreeing with what Dr. Phil is saying here. They could really just be mislabeling some of these experiences. And at the end of the day, she's still left with anxiety and PTSD and fear and all that kind of stuff. I also can't help but wonder, did she experience some sort of assault at some point and she suppressed the memory, or maybe it happened at a young age? Because it's just interesting to me that all of these possession experiences are about her being harmed in some way, and violently and aggressively harmed. It's just very interesting, and I'm curious to see what the end result is going to be in this episode.
When Abby was possessed, we used holy water to try to rid her body of demons. It was absolutely intense. Abby's skin would burn when we put holy water on her.
Holy water was wild. If you put it on her, she screamed. When she would come out of it, her legs were red. Wherever it was put on, there was little burns left on her. We would have to throw her in the shower to get it off from her because her skin would be red, and she reacted to the holy water.
Well, James says Abby's PTSD episodes have taken a major toll on their marriage. But no matter how long it takes, James says he will not give up on his wife.
My wife, Abby, definitely needs help. The current situation is stressful for our marriage. Abby's episodes have taken a toll on our sex life. We have to sleep with the light on because Abby's afraid of the dark. Abby's episodes had an effect on our daughter, too, when she was born. Somebody had to be with her all the time. I have to take time out of my life to look after Abby and help her. Some days I have to stay home to help Abby out if she's having a bad day, and it could be up to 3 days, some weeks. When Abby has an episode, honey, come on, she kind of goes limp and falls to the ground. Abby told me about the demonic possession. When I first saw the episodes, it kind of freaks you out. It's kind of scary. The first few times you see it, you haven't a clue what to do. It's very difficult to see my wife in such pain and anguish. I know for sure Abby's not doing it for attention. The episodes happen. She tries really hard to try to make life normal. It's hard, but we couldn't be closer. I'm a husband. I took the vow for sickness and in health. She's sick now, so I'm going to see it through till she gets better.
Okay, James, thanks for joining us. You've been listening to everything so far,
Absolutely.
right? You know, I look, for example, at the possession triggers. At 16 years old, the boy didn't like her and started dating a friend. Okay, at 16 years old, Charlie. At 16 years old, the dark place, close friend dies. Okay, at 20 years old, dark place returns, fight with mom, emotionally abusive boyfriend. 25 years old, the dark place returns, stressed from wedding. I mean, there are stressors that correspond to the onset of the possessions. Demons don't respond to life triggers. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. My biggest problem with the symbol system is it puts you in a passive role. And I don't believe that you should be in a passive role. I think you are intelligent, energetic, motivated person. Mm-hmm. And if you're the subject of possession, then you're in a passive role.
But what is the correlation with the exorcisms and the getting better? That's what I want to know. I have the exorcism, I'm free, I'm healed, I'm great for a while until once again them stressors come in. That's my question. These prayers, I'm not taking any medication.
It's kind of like Cassandra was saying, don't take this wrong, before she told me to mind my own business about what had happened before. I don't want to offend you about this, but there's a placebo effect. If you expect something to work, then there's a good chance it will work.
I have always been willing to get treatment. I just wanted it fixed. I didn't care what it was. I wanted it fixed. That's same as today.
Well, so what is to be done here? I mean, does it matter whether we agree it's one thing or not? Is there hope for helping Abby one way or the other. We're going to talk about that after the break.
Doctors don't know what's wrong with me. I was prescribed medicines for anti-anxiety and antipsychotics, but none of them helped me.
She's had MRIs, EEGs, psychiatric testing. The tests never showed anything physically wrong with Abby. We've done everything to try and find a diagnosis for Abby.
We went to a therapist. That wasn't working out, so we went back to our family doctor, and he suggested another therapist. After 12 years of seeking help, it was the same. Nothing was helping.
Again, I agree with Dr. Phil that there are triggers here, and these triggers are meaningful. She was rejected at 16. Later, her friend passed away. She's stressed about the wedding, and I'm still wondering, is there something else? Yeah, it just seems like there are too many triggers happening for this to be demon possession, and why are the demons waiting for these specific triggers first?
Well, Carla wrote in to me saying she was at a complete loss as to. We'll take a short break here.
It's not happening right now. You're here. Want a great job? Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, take a minute. How quickly after something like that do you come back into focus and get the buzz out of your head?
Pretty quickly. It takes a little while with the fading in, and sometimes hearing comes back first, sometimes visual, but once I'm back and get sat up and take a couple breaths, I usually do okay. Anxiety's still a little high, but that'll cool down here, I hope.
I'll calm you down.
Yeah,
And just to clarify, Phil, if we're wrong, so be it. If you can help her in any way.
It's not as
However-
if we want this
Yeah,
to
it's
be
not that
what
want
we
her to be the way she
exactly.
I think there's a pattern and a rhythm here, and I think this is very real to you, what's going on. And I think you guys have done what you felt like you were left to do. And logically, you say, well, if it's not that, then why do I get better when they do the exorcisms? Well, because you're supposed to, and you believe that, and thank God you did. I mean, it gave her a couple of years of relief. Then, hell, do it again if you want to. It's okay with me. What you do, what works, you know. And if that's your symbol system and that's what works in the short term, that's fine. But then you are left with what we are left with, which are the same symptoms you had before you started. And I'm just telling you, none of your symptoms are unique. They're not unique to demon possession. They're really kind of garden variety for anxiety and loss of contact with reality at times. And the reactions that you're having that we've seen on tape and here, frankly, are not in the top 100 that I've seen, and it doesn't even make the hit parade. I mean, it's not really very severe. It's very debilitating for her, for you, but it's not like, wow, that's radical, which means it's very likely to respond to the right kind of treatment. And you know what? You don't treat it once or twice or for a week or a month. You treat it until you get it right. You just do it until you find the right combination, the right way to get her the life she deserves to have. And so you say, went to this doctor and it didn't work, so, you know, we'll quit going to doctors. No, you won't. We'll do this until we get it right, until you find the right combination. And I think I have some things to do, some places to start that I think will put you in control of you. I want to add to the conversation Dr. Frank Lawless. He's the chairman of the Dr. Phil Advisory Board. He's the co-founder of the Lawless PVP&P Center in Dallas, Texas. Well, Lewisville, which is outside of Dallas. He joins us now via Polycom. Dr. Lawless, this is something you've been in very, very deeply. You don't poo-poo this at all. What is your good news?
Well, the good news is this is very consistent with every other case that I've seen and goes along a lot with what you've already laid out. When this is especially true for girls because in their developmental stage, their brain goes through a various kind of hormonal change. And then what happens when you turn 25 or 26, your brain begins to mature. And like she was talking about, the exorcisms tend to work because your brain now is working better. But what is left over is this little part of your brain that's called the amygdala. And the amygdala is basically a recorder of all the bad experiences that you've had, the PTSD issues that go on. And so consequently, this is her burden now, is to reconcile this amygdala, and that can be done very quickly and very successfully.
And Dr. Lawless, you can do that, for example, sound therapy with the BAUD unit, correct?
That's right.
All right, and this is non-invasive, correct? It is FDA approved. It is evidence-based therapy that is well demonstrated to have an effect on reprogramming the amygdala, which is life's recorder for all the bad things we've been through.
Absolutely.
To do that, you're going to need to go to Dallas. We'll fly you there. Happy to do it. It's our gift to you. And I think the world's going to look a good deal different to you in the very near future.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And it's the important thing is we're going to put you back in charge of you. Okay, so you can give Emily her walking papers, you can give Charlie her walking papers, you can give Shelley her walking papers, and you can take back control of your life. Fair enough?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, so in this episode, we have a woman who has been having what she considers to be demonic possessions since she was 16 years old. And these demonic possessions seems to occur with intense life events, things that she's stressed out about, things that are probably traumatic for her. Her friend passing away, being emotionally abused by a boyfriend, getting married is stressful, preparing for the wedding is stressful. She's had multiple exorcisms and they appear to work, but then they stop working. She's had holy water doused on her and then her legs and arms turn red where the holy water touched her. Quite frankly, I don't know what's going on. I personally don't think she's possessed by demons. I think there's some sort of medical or psychological issue going on here. I did say I wonder if there's schizophrenia, but Dr. Phil didn't mention that, but he did mention anxiety, PTSD, things like that. It also looks like sometimes she's having a seizure, but I assume that's not the case, or else, that would have been diagnosed. So I don't really know what's going on, but I do agree with Dr. Phil that she cannot just remain in a passive role and feel like these things are happening to her. It's much better for her if she feels empowered to be able to do something about it. And if it's not demons, if it's anxiety, if it's a mental health situation or a physical disorder, that's something that she has more control over. I do think it's great that she has this loving family that cares so much and they really want to help her and they do all they can. And it's great that she has this loving husband. He says he signed up for this, he took vows, it's in sickness and in health, till death do them part, and he's right there with her, being supportive, taking care of her while she's sick. But you guys let me know what you thought about this episode. Do you believe that these are demonic possessions and they're attacking her and all these demons are real spirits? Or do you think there's schizophrenia, anxiety, PTSD, or some other mental health thing, or some other physical disorder? I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Do you think that demonic possession is real? Do you think exorcisms really work? Y'all let me know. Drop it in the comments.